Welcome to Whispers of Resilience, our MS Stories podcast, where Justine Martin, the Queen of Resilience, sits down with each incredible author featured in this highly anticipated anthology. In this captivating series, we delve into the depths of each author's chapter, exploring the hows and whys behind their desire to share their experiences with multiple sclerosis. Prepare to be inspired as these courageous souls recount their triumphs, their challenges, and the resilience that fuels their spirits.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Whispers of Resilience, our MS Stories. Today I've got with me Tanya. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you going?
Yeah, good. Now, for those that are watching the vlogcast, I'm in tropical Bali at the moment, and you're in cold...
Queensland? Not so cold.
Not so cold.
No.
So cold. Not like a lot of the authors are from Victoria, so a little bit warmer.
I wish.
Up there. I'm in my swimmers and my sarong, and I've just had a nice massage and
lovely
putting the book together. So,
excellent.
Tanya, why did you want to be involved in this project?
I think it was a great idea, and it's nice to share your story, first of all, but I also think for people who are newly diagnosed, there's not a lot out there where people are telling each story, and obviously every story is different. So I think it would be really nice to have something for people to read that's genuine and true, and a true account of people's time with MS. I would have loved to have that, I think, when I was diagnosed.
Yeah, so true. Was there something in your chapter that you didn't put in there in an afterthought, thinking, oh, I wish I'd written that? Because we were stuck on, you were all given 2,500 words and the majority wrote over 3,000 words. And then I'm like, I'm going to have to cut it. Or you're all writing your own books.
Nothing that was huge that I thought about, but I thought about after, perhaps there's some funny stories that have happened to me on my travels when I've traveled with my husband, and things that involve my bowels and my bladder, and that's an MS situation, but it's something to laugh about that I thought maybe I should have put in there just because I enjoy humor. But nothing enormous that I missed out, really. But it is hard to fit your whole story when you've had MS for 16 years into 2,000 words, that's for sure.
3,000.
Yeah, 2 to 3, sorry, yes.
Right. Yeah, and it is, and from this process, there has been about 6 of you that have decided that they want to write their memoirs and share their whole story, and so it's really started the writing bug in them.
Yeah.
So something you might want to consider as well, Tanya.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading their stories, their bigger story. Well, everyone's stories, firstly, and then the bigger memoirs, definitely. Yeah. And maybe down the track I might do.
So part of the writing process was that you didn't get to read each other's chapters.
Yeah.
On that. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want you all comparing your journeys at that particular stage. Although in the writing groups, you all spoke about your symptoms and how they were all different and stuff like that. But I didn't want you to compare and say, oh, she's a better writer or he's a better writer than me. I'm not going to be able to do this. So it was like, no, you're not reading each other's chapters until you get them in your hot little hands at the end, like everyone else. So you're really excited in getting the book.
I am very, very excited to get it and read about other people's journeys. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Very, very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to come out as well. I definitely can't wait to see it in the book form. I mean, I've obviously read everyone's chapters more than once through there. And I got an amazing message from the editor yesterday because we're just about finishing the editing process. We're just up to the forward and the intro now. She's waiting on my last ones. But wow, she was blown away. Karen was blown away with everyone's story.
Yeah.
How powerful it's going to be when it's released. And you got to be proud of yourself, Tanya, on
thank you.
Part of this. And we're hoping that this book becomes a history book in the future where there is no MS anymore. But in the time, this book is to educate the general population on what it's like to live with MS on a day-to-day basis. And because everyone's stories are so different, this highlight that no two of us have the same journey. We may have the same disease, but none of us share the same journey with that disease. They're similar, and there's some similar things in each chapter. MS Readathon came up quite a bit, which was fantastic, that the MS Readathon had educated people that there is a disease called MS and to raise funds for it, but not knowing what MS actually is. And the disease has changed over the years. The disease-modifying therapy drugs. And the majority of us nowadays don't tend to go into wheelchairs full-time. But still live with debilitating symptoms in our life, and this book highlights definitely that. So how did you tell your family and your friends that you were going to be a published author?
I've told my family and a few of my friends, and I shared it obviously on our Facebook, and they're very, very excited to read my story. And I think the thing is, even my family, you talk to them every day, but they don't know. And I think that these chapters will open a lot. I hope that these chapters will open a lot of people's eyes to MS, and exactly what we experience, how hard it can be, but that it's not, your death sentence as well, like a bit of both. But yes, my family, my mum's very proud of me. She read the chapter when it was in its draft form. And I said something about her in there, and I felt worried about that, but she was very happy, very proud of me.
She was.
It's exciting times.
Courage to put out your story to the world. And some of the authors have disclosed really personal things about themselves and their bodily functions. Well, so that didn't go in yours. It went in some of the others.
I'm glad.
I can assure you that it went in there. And you wait till you read my chapter, what I actually disclosed. I walked into my neurologist one day and he nearly fell off his chair when I said, you'll have to read the chapter to find out.
Yes.
But I blurted out, and this old neurologist he just looked at me. I'm like, fix it. I can't go through life, fix it.
Well, maybe we'll give people strength to deal with any sort of specialist as well when you're at your end.
Not just MS. And that's the thing that, and that was quite prevalent through these chapters as well, was no one knows our body better than we do. And we know when something is wrong.
Correct.
And we know how frustrating it is when you have your medical team that don't listen to you. They dismiss you and send you on your way without answers to those important questions. And a few of the authors say, if you're not happy with what the diagnosis is, then find another doctor. Just keep asking for answers. And then we have one guy in the book who was diagnosed with MS but doesn't have MS.
I saw something about that recently, actually.
He was misdiagnosed with having MS, but has a different neurological condition. Well, so that was really interesting to read his journey on being diagnosed. And why did we put him in the book when he doesn't have MS? Because people need to be aware that this thing happens. And because a lot of these neurological conditions are very, very close, and it is hard to diagnose as well. There's no simple test it's not a blood test that says, you've got MS or you've got MND or you've got PLS or all the other ones that come into it. The specialists are trained to identify this, but even they get it wrong sometimes, and not often through their fault. It's just that's what the disease looked like it was presenting at the time until it changes. So we've got a range of people from all walks of life in the book, and all ages, and some that are newly diagnosed and some that are like yourself, been diagnosed for quite some time. there.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. So, Tanya, how do you fill up your days nowadays?
I volunteer for Enabled.vip, which I've mentioned in the book and in my bio. It's a not-for-profit business, not-for-profit, sorry, not a business. It's a virtual incubator that is trying to change and stir up the industry for employment for people with disabilities in Australia. We believe that the 9 to 5 doesn't really work for people with disabilities, and that's not necessarily the fault of the employers. And we think that entrepreneur is the way to go for people with disabilities. And so we've started a platform online that they can join with their NDIS funds to get some advice and mentorship and a lot of resources to help them start up their own small business or get some gig work, or just to help them achieve their goals, because people with disability have a lot to give. It's just not always in the same way that people without disabilities can give it.
So relate to that, Tanya, because, as you know, I was told I would never be able to work again back in 2011. And I started quite a few businesses. But although, I have all these businesses, they work around my disability. They work around the fact that I get fatigued. I can sit on my lounge with my feet up in a very comfortable position, and I can work from there. I can work from my bed. I can work from Bali. I can work from it, but I couldn't work my old job. There's no way I could sit there for 8 hours a day in that desk and multitask and do what was required of me. I don't have that brain capacity anymore to do that. But for, my neurologist telling me, oh, you can't work anymore, he should have rephrased it. You can't work in your chosen field or your profession anymore, but you are going to have the ability to try something else. But in saying that as well, I don't learn like I used to learn. And so there's a whole new learning program that you have to do, and that's different for all of us.
Yes, definitely. And it has to be adaptable, and it has to be available at whatever time you're feeling well enough to be able to access it. And I think that's the big thing. Like I worked for the same job for 16 years, same 9 to 5 sort of situation. And it was my life, and I did struggle with it, but I felt like I had to kind of do more than everyone else because I did have that leave and those times off and things like that. So I'm kind of out of that area now, and hopefully we'll start, I don't know, I'll just be volunteering probably at this stage, but it's nice to have options especially when you have a disability where you have to start learning differently, you have to retrain your brain, you have to have options. You don't want to just sit at home and slowly tether away. It's not what it is.
That's not good for your brain. That's not good for your body. It's important to still stimulate your brain
100%.
as best you possibly can. And, hopefully some of the neuro pathways will rewire. So in my case, they have, not to the capability of prior to having MS. So I mean, I couldn't count at all when I was first diagnosed, and for many years, I still can't count properly at all. Just frustrating because I was so good at maths, but my teachers in high school used to say, learn your times table because you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket when you go around. How old are they? Because we now all have calculators.
Exactly.
And, I've learned to adapt by just using a card to tap rather than, cash and money. And so you do learn to adapt and modify and continue moving forward. But, it's important to try and exercise as much as you can. Your capabilities, and exercise your brain as much as you can as well.
Yes. The brain is, my neurologist has said to me, the brain is very, very smart, and it can fix itself and it can rewire. And that's why I kind of put myself into work so much, because I thought if I could work hard and use my brain a lot with legislation and things, it would help.
And has it?
I think it did, but I've lost that job now for other circumstances that we won't go into because it's but I think my brain's still pretty damn good, to be honest.
So you got to find something that fits for you.
Yeah, I just didn't focus so much on the exercise side of it, I think, and my legs aren't as great as they used to be. But I think I've been progressing a wee bit, and I've been adjusting things. I don't know if you do that as well, but adjust things just to make it work. And I haven't even realized that I've done that sort of thing. So yeah, it's very interesting what your brain does as well.
Something will snap, and it's like, how in the hell did I get here?
Yes, 100%.
That disability becomes so severe.
Yeah. And then you think back and you go, hold on, I've been pulling my leg up to put my shoes on for the last 3 years. Oh, hold on, I have to sit down to put pants on. And I've never noticed that I do that. Now I can't put pants on. And like, that's when you actually notice it rather than, I've got foot drop. I've never noticed I've done that before, but I've always swung my leg out to counteract it. But now it's gotten a bit worse. And, like it's what your brain does without you realizing is quite incredible. And you're right. The disability sneaks up on you because you were always progressing, but you never noticed it until it gets a bit bad or a bit more obvious.
Yeah. Or someone says something.
Yeah, that too, actually. And then it's prevalent to your brain and your mind all the time, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, God damn it, when did that happen? How am I going to fix that? Oh, that's right. I can't fix it at the moment because there's not a cure for it. So that brings me to saying to the audience out there, everyone that's listening and watching, if you'd like your own copy of Whispers of Resilience, you can go to resiliencemindset.com.au and purchase your own copy, or on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any of the major platforms, and getting it. And we're also putting it on Audible as well, which is exciting.
It is.
Yeah. So is there anything that you want to add, Tanya, that you wish that you'd said? I mean, I know I've already asked that question, but
no, thank you for organizing it, Justine. I think it's been just an incredible idea, and I hope it will reach the people we want it to reach and make a true difference in their lives. And if you're and I say this to a lot of people, and I'm not sure if it's the right thing, but I was diagnosed 16 years ago, and if I had to be diagnosed, I would prefer to be diagnosed today because the medicine has come an incredibly long way. And I almost say hesitantly that they've almost worked out how to almost stop relapses, and they can't fix what's already broken, but I think they're really and
they're close to that. They're close to repairing the myelin.
Yeah, my neurologist said they're really focusing on that now because they feel like they've kind of worked out the other half. So it's not a bad day and age to be diagnosed. Is what I like to say.
Agree. I mean, none of us want to be diagnosed with friggin' things, but I agree with you. If there was ever a time to be diagnosed, now would be it.
Yeah.
In regards to the disease-modifying therapy drugs and what more they know about it.
Yeah.
And, in the next couple of years, we'll have a drug out there that will help repair the myelin sheath. And they reckon within 10 years that we'll have a cure, which brings me to, 25% of everything that the sale of the book, the profit of the sale of the book is going to MS, directly to MS research to help us find a cure. And I, for one, am very proud that, we are doing that and doing
Me too.
And then the other 75% goes to scholarships for those that want to write their memoirs, and Morpheus Publishing will definitely help publish their books. So maybe you just want to write one, Tanya.
Maybe one day I'll get in touch. For sure.
I'll hold you to that.
We'll see how my chapter goes first. Maybe we'll see if there's any feedback out there before
we're going to be an Amazon bestseller out of this.
Yeah, I know we are, but for sure.
We're going to go around the world. It'll be a history book for people to remember.
I hope so. I'm going to send it off to a few doctors, that's for sure.
Yes, me too. Especially the one that misdiagnosed me to start with.
Definitely. See, I'm sorry to backtrack, but I'm very lucky with my diagnosis story, and people will read it, but I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't been lucky, and mine was very quick and pretty straight to the point. So
Yeah.
Pretty lucky there.
That was fortunate.
Yeah.
And if
The
you
only
are,
fortunate part about it.
if you are out there and you are interested in writing your own memoir or even participating in volume 2 of Whispers of Resilience, then please get in contact at hello@justinemartin.com.au, and all the details will be in the show notes for that, and we can definitely put you in the next volume or help you publish your own story as well. And funding is available through NDIS to help with the writing process, as the majority of the authors in this book participated in that 6-week writing program, which was fantastic, on the community and the tribe that everyone created in that period of time. So thank you, Tanya, for being on our little podcast today and for participating in the book.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for being so great with my unavailability. And thank you for doing the book. Like, honestly, it's just incredible. I'm very excited to read all the chapters and people's stories.
You're welcome. And I knew that we'd get you eventually after 8 times in China.
I'm sorry, it's winter and I have a 3-year-old in MS. I'm always sick.
That's okay. I totally get it. But thank you for making time today.
Thank you. Enjoy Bali weather. Well,
I will.
Yeah.
And everyone, until next time, you all stay healthy.
Are you ready to be inspired? Get ready for the book that will touch your heart and ignite your spirit. Whispers of Resilience, Personal Stories of Living with MS is now available for purchase. Have you ever wanted to peek into the lives of individuals who have triumphed over adversity? Look no further. This highly anticipated anthology brings together a group of exceptionally talented authors, all living with multiple sclerosis, who share their personal journeys with unyielding honesty and vulnerability. At www.resiliencemindset.com.au, you can now secure your copy of this remarkable book that captures the essence of resilience, hope, and the power of the human spirit. Dive into the stories that will captivate your imagination and open your heart to the triumphs and challenges faced by these courageous individuals. With each turn of the page, you'll witness the unbreakable spirit of these authors, as they navigate the unpredictable terrain of MS. Their words will inspire you, uplift you, and remind you of the incredible strength that lies within. Visit www.resiliencemindset.com.au now and embark on a transformative journey through the pages of Whispers of Resilience. Get your copy today.